my YouTube channel. My name is Daniela, and if you're new here, I make upcycling videos, outfit from scratch, and some basic tutorials for sewing. In this video, we will be seeing the stitching part of this dress. I have already covered the cutting part in another tutorial. I will add the link of that tutorial in the description box below. Also, it will pop up here. Also, in case you have any suggestions, please make sure that you write them in detail so I can understand the problem and correct them in my next videos. Also, if you're new here, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more videos. And now, without any further delay, let's get into the video. Also, for this project, you will need two invisible zip, one on the slit and the other one on the sides. Okay? Okay, so first, as you can see, what I have done is I have just stitched the skirt pieces together. Okay, this is for the back, and I have also attached then the lining fabric with a basting stitch. Okay, so this is nothing but just stitching the skirt parts together. That's it. Okay, and then I have done the same thing for the front part, but there is one difference, is that front part there is a little difference because there is an invisible zip. So if you can see here, there is a zip, okay, which I can open, and then the slit opens. So it's just have you stitched the normal stitch, you know, when you have to stitch the normal zip, have you stitch it, you have to do the exact same thing, and then you have to continue stitching upwards. Okay, and lining fabric I have done the same thing, but I have not stitched the lining fabric, okay, which is on the zip side, because I need to stitch it along with the zip, so I have kept it open. Okay, also when you will stitch the lining fabric and the main fabric together, you have to make sure that the wrong sides are facing each other. You can see wrong sides are facing each other, so you have to do the exact same thing. Now moving on to the sleeves. Okay, so this is your sleeve pattern. What you have to do is you have to roll it once, you have to roll it once and then stitch it. Okay, like this, like how I've done here. You can see I have turned it or rolled it once and then I have stitched it. Okay, now you have to create a loop for your elastic. So I will be rolling it again and then I will stitch here again. So you have to make sure that whatever elastic you have will go through your loop. Okay, so you have to make that loop wide enough and then go ahead and stitch it. Now once you have stitched it, it will look like this. You can see. Now in this you need to add your elastic. Okay, whatever measurement you have, take 1 inch less than that. You remember mine was 11 inches, so I'm going to take 10 inches. This is the inch tape, so I'm going to take 10 inches, which is this much. Okay, and then go ahead and cut it. So you need to cut 4 of such, and then you need to insert it into these loops using a safety pin. Okay, and once you have taken it out, you need to go ahead and stitch here, and also on the other side you have to stitch it at the corner. Yeah, stitch it here. Okay, do the same thing for other pieces as well. So this is how the sleeves look once you have added the elastic to it. You can see. We'll start with the bottom part of the bodice. So you can see this is how it was, and we had cut it in the middle. So these are the pieces. This one is on fold, okay, and the others are these. So basically I have to take it like this and go ahead and stitch this part. Okay, I will pin it, and similarly I will also do, I think it's like this, right? Yeah, so basically it will be like this. Okay, this is for the lining fabric. It will look like this once you open it. So just go ahead and stitch it. Okay, We'll do the same thing for the main fabric as well. So I will just open the fold, yeah, and then basically this is it, right? So I'm going to keep it like this, and the same thing I will be keeping it like this, and then pin it, then take it to the sewing machine and stitch it. Okay, with whatever seam allowance you have taken, go ahead and stitch it. Okay, this is your bodice. If you remember, this is your bodice piece, right? Both the lining fabric and the main fabric. You have to go ahead and add gathers here. Okay, you know how to add the gathers. I have also created a separate video for the same, so make sure that you watch it. You have to do basting stitches here and then pull the thread. Okay, but for more information, please watch that video. Okay, so once you have stitched the bottom part, it looks like this. Okay, and I have also added the gathers to my upper part of the bodice. Okay, so this is how it looks. So I'm going to keep it like this, the right side. Okay, I'm going to keep it on the right side. This will also be on the right side, yeah, like this. And then I'm going to turn it. I have the midpoint. This is my midpoint, so I'm going to connect the midpoint with the midpoint. Go ahead and pin it, and pin the whole thing. Okay, so once you have pinned it, it will look like this. So just go ahead and stitch it. Okay, so now you have this stitched like this. Now you need to attach the sleeves. Okay, so if the sleeves are like this, what I'll be doing is I will connect it like here. Okay, so keep it how it should be, and then turn it on the right sides facing each other, and then go ahead and stitch it. Okay, like this.
Then take the lining fabric which you have stitched in the same way as the main fabric. Keep the right sides facing each other. Always pin the pieces first so that you can flip them and see if they will look fine after stitching. So pin your pieces.
Okay, so I have stitched it like this. You can see right sides facing each other. In the middle part, if you see, this is how I have stitched it. Okay, there is a gap here from which my strap will come out. Okay, and then there is a V shape. Okay, the gap is on both the sides because the strap needs to come out. Okay, so now I will go ahead and cut it because you need to flip it, so you need to cut this part here till the end of V. Okay, and then just add some notches so that it will be easy for you to flip it.
Okay, another thing that we need to do is, you know that the straps will be coming out from this point, but we didn't attach the straps yet. So I have already created straps which I will attach at the corners of the armhole. Okay, so I will be attaching it here and then where the armhole curve starts. Okay, so I will just pin it. This is on the wrong side. Okay, we are still on the wrong side of the fabric. So I will go ahead and attach straps on both the sides of the armhole curve. You see where am I attaching it? You have to also attach it there.
So once you turn it on the right side, it will look like this. Okay, here are your straps. Okay, and this is the sleeve part. This is how it looks.
So I have kept the back pattern pieces side by side, and here we have to attach these loops. Okay, so for that first I will go ahead and mark where these loops will be placed. So I'm keeping 1.25 inch difference between each loop. Okay, so I will just go ahead and mark it. I'm marking these on the right side. Okay, and then I will just darken them and fold the other side on it and then tap to get the markings on the other side as well. Then you need to go ahead and attach your loops on these points. Once you have attached your loops, it will look like this. Then you have to take the other pattern piece and keep it right sides facing each other. Okay, and then go ahead and pin it. And do the same thing for the other side as well. Then we will go ahead and attach your lining fabric as well. Now for the lining fabric, we don't have to attach any loops, so just pin them normally how you would do, and then take it to the sewing machine and stitch it. Then near the loops, I want to add boning, so I will just measure how long do I want the boning and then go ahead and cut it. I have used plastic boning. Then turn your fabric like this, and on this particular seam allowance you have to go ahead and attach your boning. So this is how it looks once you have done it. Do it on the other side as well. And for the front you have to go ahead and attach your boning here on the seam allowance. And then you can also do a basting stitch on the bottom part of the bodice so that the lining fabric and the main fabric will be together. Now we have to attach the skirt to the bodice. So for that we will be keeping the right sides facing each other like this, and then you have to pin it. But for the pinning, what you can do is mark the midpoint of both the bodice as well as the skirt and then align it together and then pin it. Now to attach the back bodice with the front bodice, you have to keep them right sides facing each other and then take the sleeve and keep it like this. Okay, this is also right side facing each other. Okay, and then pin it. Do it for the other sleeve as well. And then you take your lining fabric for the back. Okay, and then keep it like this. This is also right sides facing each other. Okay, and then you have to go ahead and pin it. Once you have stitched it, it will look like this. You can add notches if you want and then turn it on the right side. Okay, it will look like this. And then we need to go ahead and connect the back skirt with the back bodice. For that as well, I have marked the midpoint of the skirt and the midpoint of the bodice. Then I will align both these midpoints together and then I will go ahead and pin it. And then go ahead and stitch it. If you have some extra fabric at the sides, just go ahead and cut it. It's not a big deal.
So this is the front part, slit. You see, this is the slit. But we also have to do the finishing of the lining fabric. Okay, so what you have to do for that is, I will turn it on the wrong side. Okay, and you can see I have just connected here a pin, okay, which is attaching the lining fabric as well as the main fabric. And then what I have to do is, this is how it is, right? So you need to stitch the lining fabric here by turning it. So you have to turn it, and this is how it should be. Okay, but if I stitch it here, it will also show up here and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to hold it like this. I'm holding it, okay, how it's going to be stitched. I'm holding it and I will now move it on that side. So basically like this. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. And now I will go ahead and flip the whole thing. Okay, so now I'm on the wrong side and I'm just going to go ahead and pin this whole thing with the lining fabric. Okay, once you have pinned it, turn it on the right side to see how it's going to look like. Okay, so this is how it will look like, which is exactly how we want. So now go ahead and stitch this. Okay, do the same thing for the other side as well.
So now the only thing that is remaining is stitching the sides of the dress. One side we have to go ahead and attach the invisible zip. I have created a video about how to attach invisible zip. I will add the link of that video in the description box below. So after attaching the zip, you just have to keep the fabric right sides facing each other and then pin it and stitch it. You have to do the same thing on the other side as well. You have to keep the right sides facing each other and then stitch it. And once you have stitched it, I have also done the zigzag stitch for the finishing. So this is how it looks on one side, and on the other side as well I have done the same thing. If you have a serger, you can use that and serge the sides or edges, but I don't have a serger, so I have used zigzag stitch. And this is the finishing of the bottom side. I have just rolled it twice, the lining fabric and the main fabric, for finishing. And that's it.